Greetings and welcome to Project Pandora. I am Darkling and this of course is Ark Survival Evolved. This will be a bits and pieces episode. I'll be finishing up a few things that I've had on the go, like the piping and the greenhouse, so hopefully we'll get those sorted. There's still a fair list of things to actually sort out for the base to be finished, but we're going to slowly start ticking them off one by one and hopefully we won't be too far away from the end. So stick around and hopefully you might learn something. So first things first, what we're going to take care of is the greenhouse. So I'm going to put in the cages to hold the critters. Now I am well aware that you can instead use the hitching post to hold things like dung beetles and snails. I'm not a fan of using the hitching post for a permanent fixture. I generally only use it for a temporary thing while I'm breeding. There is a fair bit of lag caused by it, so it pays not to leave too many things set up for too long. So what I've done is I've stuck all the NPC S plus things over on this side, keep them all nice and close together. You can access them all fairly easy. I feel like I should possibly put a fridge in here. I might have to add that in. First of all, while I'm here, I'm going to do some modeling, so hopefully we can shoot through and around these things. Guess not, I might have to do that from the outside then. Actually, before I do that, I will take care of some of the inside ones. So I want to get these looking a little bit more interesting, or at least a little less puzzle piece kind of thing. That's the only drawback to these. When you first place them, they kind of have a messy look about them. It works in a lot of builds. What am I doing? It's a no sides, isn't it? Yeah, it works for a lot of builds, but if you have too much glass, it tends to end up looking quite messy. Sometimes messy works well in a base. I do like the occasional messy base. It depends on how it's structured. Like sometimes something works, sometimes it doesn't. It's a bit of luck of the draw in some cases. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to make the very outside pieces just a piece of metal. I'm going to clear the rest. Down the bottom here I will use two sides and lose the top piece. There we go. No sides at all. That's the one I wanted. I'm going to have no sides on that one, and that one. That one as well. Clear it. I need two sides and lose the top. This one is just going to be a single side. Okay, so that is looking pretty good. And now, so it doesn't look too bizarre, I'm going to set it so it's a partial opacity. We'll go roughly half. No, we'll go a little bit more. Is that going to be enough? Sometimes it's best to actually do it and have a look at it from a distance and see how it turns out. I'm going to get a few lines in here just because of the way the snaps work. It's one of those things that's pretty unavoidable. You can avoid it, but it takes a lot more effort and a lot more time, and to be honest I just don't think it's worth it on something like this. So yep, I think that works for me quite nicely. I quite like the way it looks, so on we go. So I still need to remodel the top level of glass. That's not a problem. I'll finish this outside piece and then have a look at that. What I'm trying to do is just get to the point where this is all finished. I want to get some completion going on. Now I'm actually looking at a point where I can't easily see what's going on. Corner piece, bottom corner. You have to wait for the dip below. There we go. And just because it's hovering up and down, I should probably be closer, but okay, that looks like the one we want. I don't mind the beehive sticking through a little bit, it's not too much of a worry. I'm actually going to need a corner for that. Oh, perfect the first time. In that case, is it D? No, is it B? Sometimes you can actually follow them around, like if this was A, that one might be B, C, D, it depends how they've snapped. So, we've got a D there. So is this going to be a C? Yes. No, I didn't want to pick that up, but fine, whatever. Okay. Now, funny, I've already forgotten which that was, so B, and does that mean that's going to be an A? Yep. I wish there was a quicker way of doing this. Like, I do think it's about as quick as it'll get, but I just feel like it would be nice if it was a little bit quicker to get through. Okay, so we've got a B there. Let's try a C there. No. Let's try an A. Cool. Let's try a D here. And a C there. Okay. I hate when it dips like that, so I'm going to try and get it nice and low. Okay, that went a lot easier than the other ones. So what I'm going to want is, we'll say 0.7. I'm tempted, I might actually make these one way, to be honest. Yeah, I think I like that one way. Obviously we're going to get some bleed through from the beehives, but that's not too much of a hassle. Yeah, I don't mind that too much. Amazing the things I'm happy with and things that do frustrate me, because sometimes the things that you'd think would annoy me really don't. Okay, I'm going to need to grab that. And can I get an angle on the front? Oops. I accidentally right click there, so I'll use that to move position. Be that one. That's one done. I suppose I don't need to go over that, I can go through. And I think for this one I'm going to make it completely modelless and just tint the whole lot. I do like sticking the metal around the outside, but I don't like doing it on everything because just the time it takes to actually do it. Sometimes you've got to judge how long something's going to take. If I was going to live in this base for an extended period of time, oops, I would slowly adjust things that I feel do need to be adjusted. So it's going to be opaque. Get it all converted over. That was great. So while I'm at it, have I got any? I do have some more glass on me. I don't need that. I don't know why I'm walking you over. I don't need you. Now I feel like I should be adding elevator to this one. How could I do? I believe that was me not paying attention. Pick that one up first. I'm trying to speed things up because I'm wanting to get this base completed. I'm at a point where I'm excited to actually finish it. But the list is growing a little bit. I keep thinking, yeah, I've only got this to do, I've only got that to do, and then I'll stumble across something else that I've not actually gotten to. So it's the inside one. Should be that one there. And the model, no sides. I'm still going to get onto the piping. That shouldn't take too long to sort. Now, for those keeping track, I did in fact spawn some more bits in. I brought in 100 adobe ceilings because for some reason I was out. Could have sworn I had extra, but maybe I dumped them along the way. Wouldn't be surprised, I have done that before. I also put in another item collector. I think it was something else as well. It was something pretty obscure. Oh, it was the cages. Yeah, I've already done those. Okay, so I might actually just go straight across it with the transparency and carry on. Demo gun, pick up that one. Bottle maker. Oops, I didn't mean to set it. Clear it first, then copy it. You can probably hear me clicking away on this. Why is that not changing? I bet you. There we go, there was a double up. So if you ever have that happen where you're trying to change the model on a piece and it's just not working, chances are it's actually got two pieces there. So you've changed the model of one but the other one's still exactly the same. Okay, so that one's sorted. Haven't got any holes in this one, so I can do this without worrying about falling into it. Now I don't need to do tech elevators on all of these, but I do like to keep some consistency. And I like the idea of being able to get around the base from multiple angles. I mean, I could just stick an elevator on the lower, like in the actual tower itself, but if I stick some up here, it means if you're in a hurry and you want to go to a specific section of the base, you can quite easily. So that's the center, so that's the piece to pick up. I'm going to need some tech elevators, which I should have some on me. Ooh, make it opaque. So I'm really liking this level. I gotta admit, the pillars at first bothered me, but now the actual structure's in place, I'm liking it more and more. I quite like the brutal nature of the pillar, but the ramps at the front do taper it off quite nicely. Did I do them all? Yes, okay. Make this one Make. Oops. Excellent. Now I still need to set the glass for these, so I might actually do this while I'm at it, do them all in one go. Like I said at the start, this is going to be a tidy up, cleaning up all the bits and pieces that I've been putting off. So that's a C, so that means that one's a B? No, that one's a D. Okay, so that one over there is probably a B. Means that one is an A. That one's a B. Start with a C. Can't quite tell from here. Means that one is a B. A. Oops. B. It should be an A. B. Change the transparency while I'm here. That's going to be one-way glass. Now the reason I want this one way, I want the outside of the base to look solid. Now, I could make it clear and it would look pretty cool, but I want the outside to have a definitive line to it. If I make it clear, then there's going to look like there's holes in certain sections of the base. I'm trying to avoid that look for this particular structure. I want the structure to look nice and solid, which, okay, yeah, it did work. Which for a floating base I think is definitely an important, oops, that one should be a B. That one's an A. I think it's important for a floating structure to have a certain amount of solidity about it. It kind of defies what most people would think it should look like. You know, for something that's floating in the air, you'd think it should have a very light look about it, so lots of glass and lots of see-through stuff. I am going to... yeah, I'm going to do these while I'm at it. Ooh, can I get back up there? Yes I can. So, model, no sides. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to change transparency. And it's going to be... I think I'm going to go with 0.7ish. Yeah, that works for me. Actually, no, it might be a little bit less. I'll go with 0.5. So I want it to be visible at a close distance, but I want it to be mostly invisible from a distance, so that when you're flying past it has more of a roof look about it than an actual veranda or deck. Now you may notice by the way I say deck that is probably different than what you guys use. A lot of people insult New Zealanders for using it. I reckon we say it a little bit more rudely than most. But we don't care. Why does that transparency look different? Copy that, paste that. Okay, now obviously I haven't done the internals for some of these. There's still a few things to get done. That one's finished. Oops. Okay, transparency 5. Copy it and paste it. Whoops. Now if you do like these videos, make sure you do hit that thumbs up button. You'd be surprised how much that actually makes a difference. It also keeps me motivated. Do feel free to share this with other people. Regardless of what you think of my skills, whether or not you think I'm doing a bad job, a good job, whichever, make sure you keep people's keep other people in mind. If you're gonna say that they're not as good or somebody else is better, whatever, you know, you're entitled to your opinion, but sometimes it's best to keep those opinions. So if you do like what I do and don't like somebody else's, keep it to yourself. You know, you can tell them, hey, check this out, but make sure you keep it polite. Don't be a dick. That's the rule that I always keep in my Discord. Don't be a dick. I haven't seen anybody doing anything like that yet. I hope that I don't. I really love building, and it doesn't matter what people think. There's plenty of people that tell me lots of good things, so if you don't like it, move on. I'm not going to stress if you don't like it. I just love building in this game. I really hope we get some new building materials, something a bit more interesting. Oops, go on. Oh wait, I can go from this side. Modeling. There's lots of things that I do that other people possibly do better, and that's cool as well. I do try and improve my builds. I don't generally go looking at other people's though. Like, my other half's an artist. She does all sorts of things, from making jewelry to cake decorating. She does painting, sketching, she does all sorts, and if there's one thing I've learnt from watching her as an artist is don't pay attention to what other people do, because you can be really good at what you do and hop on something like Pinterest or the likes and find 100 people who do it better. Just don't do it. It can be depressing if you find someone who's that much better than you. It's not really about who's better. It shouldn't be. It's if you guys have fun doing it, then just do it. I love the process in this. I doubt it comes through when I'm talking. The actual process of constructing stuff, I really enjoy it. It reminds me of when I was a kid playing with Lego and things like that. I'd actually love to get it back into playing with Lego. I'm not very well off, so Lego is far from something that I can really afford to mess around with. But I really regret not having the Lego that I had when I was a kid. I don't regret the fact that I gave it to my nephew. I think that's really cool. I hope he had a lot of fun with it. But there's a small part of me that thinks, oh, maybe I should have kept it. It's one of those things that when you transition from being a child to an adult, not that I claim to be an adult, but when you make that transition, or you think you make that transition, that you get rid of a lot of the things that you had when you were a kid because you think it defines you as a child. Come on, grab hold. Go. It really doesn't. I've come to learn that later in life. I'm going to have to get some more of that. So what I might do is, while I'm down this sort of direction, I'm going to grab a fridge to put the honey in, and I'm going to grab a couple of glass half walls. Yeah, I mean, as an adult, you know, I like things that are considered childish. Like, I love Harry Potter. Yeah, there I said it. Harry Potter. Great series. The books, the movies are good too, but the books, amazing. I don't know if I've mentioned it before. I've said to quite a few of my friends, I really hope that they do a remake of the Harry Potter books in like a digital format. So, well, not the books themselves, the actual series. I really love to see them recreate the movies in digital. So if you've ever watched the Final Fantasy movies, where it's made to look almost like real life, but you can tell that it's animated, I would love them to do something like that, so that when you watch it, you have the feeling like you are watching live action. But I think they could do more with the magic, and I'd like for them to fill out a little bit. So instead of doing a movie, actually do each book as a series and allow to add a little bit more into it. Because if you think about it, the first book's really short. They could have a lot more stuff of them mucking around in class, between classes. We could see a lot more backstories on other characters. I think that'd be really cool. I'd love to see some stuff like that. There's plenty of books I'd love to see a series made out of. There's a few that, as much as I would like to see them in production, that I think it would be a bad idea. I've got my favourite series, which is I do believe I've actually mentioned before, The Magic of Recluse was the first book. The actual series is called The Saga of Recluse. Brilliant series, the author is amazing, but I don't think it would transition to make a good movie. Okay, that's looking good. I'm going to stop and do those windows. Now, I like a good story about, I guess, the journey. The journey is important. If you like books where the getting there is the important part, then you'll love the books that I like. Although I've never actually, I am kind of ashamed to say I've never actually picked up Lord of the Rings. Don't know why, I just never quite got there. And I watched the movies first, and I'm a firm believer that is something you don't do. If you ever get into books, it should like something that's been made into a movie or whatnot, you should always read the books first. I didn't, and because of that, I don't think I'll actually end up reading the books anytime soon. Looks really cool. Everybody has their methodologies for doing things. That's just one of mine. I really hope you guys find what I'm saying interesting. Just sort of waffling on about things that I do and don't like. I'm sure there's people that like it and people that don't. If you're this far through, you're probably watching with the sound off anyway, so who knows. Two side on that one, don't we? A, yes. Two side A. Side B. Side A. So as you can see, that you can get a bit of a pattern going. And it does change sometimes depending on what orientation the bits and pieces are. That's A, so that must be a B. Two side A. That's two side A. That's the A. Top one's the B. Three sides B, wasn't it? On the way. Now I had thoughts about actually painting this build, painting it white. You'll see that just about all my builds are actually in stone and glass. I've built a few with metal in them, which obviously go well with the glass. My Aquaticus base, I really like that. It's one of my favourite builds that I've done. I actually think, as far as it goes, it doesn't showcase my skills very well. Like, I think it's a good base. I think it's a very nice base to play from. The hub itself, the way the storage is turned out, that in itself is something that I really love, but I do think that the base as a whole doesn't have a lot of the skill in it that I've done in some of the other builds. Right? Oh, it's 2 sides A, that's what I want. Sides A. That one is a 3B and a 3A. Cool. Again, this one here doesn't have a lot of the skills that I've used while I've been playing. I think it kind of depends on what you're building as to what works for it. And I try not to fill my bases full of all my skills and kind of overload it with too much technicality. I think sometimes it's actually better to be simpler in certain respects. Like this build here, the fact that it's floating in the air is, it's not complex, but it's complex enough to have a certain look about it. Yeah, this must be the last one. Now yet again I have actually forgotten to set my alarm, so at some point I'm going to have to go and double check what that's actually at. I must have around about half an hour to go, judging by the time. It's actually about 1 in the morning at the moment. 3 size B? No, that one's 2 sides, isn't it? A. That's a 3A. A 3B. Which means that one's a 3B. Which means that one's a 2A. Excellent. Whoa! That didn't go well. Did I just double tap or something? I swore I heard it mount. I hate that sudden falling, it's disconcerting at times. Now that looks great. So how's that going to look? There's going to be 2 in the middle there, 1 on each side. Awesome. Okay, so the external ones there are done quite nicely. When I'm talking about external ones, I mean like a lot of the windows are sorted. Sorry, I do tend to say the wrong thing when I'm thinking about something else. Now, oh, actually, I've got to go up again. I'm going to need some Adobe. Now the reason I'm doing the Adobe is for the basement. Come on. Oh, there's no elevator below this. That's cool. Do I have a tech elevator on me? Do I have 3? Okay, so I'm going to need a height of 2. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That in there. Okay, so it's not going to link quite as nicely as I'd like. In which case I'm going to need some more materials. Can't get that from here. See if I can actually snap these on the inside. I can snap these on the inside. So where does that snap to? Gonna be there? I feel it should be at the back. That one? Yeah, I feel like that should actually be where it is. I need another elevator. That works for me. Opaque. Drop down. Opaque. I really like the look of these in opaque. Alrighty, so I'm gonna need to connect these up. Oh, that's right, I need to swap elevators. Where is that? Gonna grab a couple of walls. I need something to snap this to. I might be able to get away with not having anything. Like I can remove it afterwards, but I think to get the snap I need, I'm gonna have to actually put a wall in place, or two walls actually. So these in, and then we'll pull these out and see what happens. Oh, I pulled something out I shouldn't have pulled out. Joys of a demo gun. Okay, that snapped okay. Too high space is fine. As you can see, you can end up with more space down below if you really have to. You'd be amazed how, when you're doing some of the builds, how much space you can actually make by doing some of the techniques I use of filling spaces in. Like, because I do things like this where you've got a ceiling upside down, this space here is actually quite huge. That's not right. Some of the builds I've done, I've ended up with so much space that I've ended up doing extra builds within them. This has gone really dark. Let's get her up to 4. Oh, that's way too high. Yeah. One of the bases, the first tour vid that Maz did, that had a huge basement, and I wasn't originally going to stick anything down there, but when I finished the build, or at least finished it up to the point that I had it, I was like, I've got heaps of space here, I'll use some of it, and started doing some vanity work in there, and before I knew it I had all sorts on the go. Swap elevators, go up 2, need some more of those. Oh man, is that all that's left? Should I hit crouch or crawl? Oh, of course I fell in. Now what you can do, if you want to access the bottom here, you can actually leave a section like that and just take an extra piece out and you can run up and down. You just have to have a diamond shape just so your character fits through. I'm actually not going to have enough. Quite disappointed with that. Too short. 3 short. Okay, I'll have to sort that. Maybe I should have the elevator over here. Create a snap point. Drop that out. No, that's not it. I don't even think I needed that snap point there. It's snapped these just fine, didn't it? In fact, that actually looks quite low. Take that out. I wonder what that looks like from the outside. Does mean I can pull these ones out. And that means I can use the same elevator, I don't have to swap. Which would be nice. Definitely short 3, that's fine. Take the pipes further through. actually I still need to go up and grab the Quetzal. I think once I get those two levels walled in, obviously the base is going to look a lot better. Nice and close. Now, if you remember, there's actually a glass stem here. Cool. So I had the pipe stick through the wall, stick through the floor. It was far enough through to actually get the snap on it. Now, let's try and go third person. No, I can't get close enough. Go back to first person because third really screws me up. I'm not a fan of third person play. One of those things, I think as you learn in gaming, whatever it is you learn tends to be the thing that you go with. I remember when I first started playing things like the original Quake game, I used to play just keyboard, and that was actually quite unheard of in the circles that I played in, because that was when people was first starting to play with mouse and keyboard, and I did pretty well with the keyboard setup that I had. I think it's another thing you've got to be really sure of when you're playing these sort of games, is the keyboard layouts that you like. I always used to have a custom layout. This kind of game, I don't like. I think the keys that they've ended up using are actually the keys that we always used. They're just the thing now, the way it is. Now I'm gonna pick this up. They're gonna give me an intake. E to place. Cool, I don't even have to get into the water. Put that elevator back. Make it opaque. I should have put a tap. Sorry, made it invisible. I'll have to use a tap for that, which I don't have on me right now. Okay, so all those taps up above should now be working. We'll go into the kitchen level. And the cool thing is, this area is actually big enough to land something on, so if you need to make a quick trip into here, you can quite easily. Meet the tap. Right, connected pipes. Awesome. So we now have water. So all the crop plots should now be getting water in them as well, which is cool. Again, it's got really dark. Not set gamma. Oh, yeah, that'll work. Okay, so kitchen basement is mostly in place. I need to get the adobe sorted. Piping is done. I may end up adding extra. I'm just going through my list at the moment just to see if there's anything I need to make sure is done in this particular video. Any forward progress is obviously going to be good. I'll have some of these so I can fill in up the top. I'm going to do it from the air, that's fine. Now, trouble is, I'm going to need to make sure that they're around the correct way. Okay, let's go from the other direction. I would have preferred to come down from above, but good start, isn't it? Let's just get off the Quetzal. Now I'm actually going to add an extra row of stone. I think it's actually going to be that one there. That one's going to be stone. It's fine. I need to leave one of these open so that I can get my Quetzal out. Keep it as the front one to get out, so that should be nice and easy to remember. I keep that one as stone. The reason that one's going to be stone is so that the transition from the slope section of the base onto the stem, I'm going to call this the stem, it's going to have a flat piece before it gets to the window, so it looks like it's got a bit of sturdiness to it. That's what I was saying before about sometimes you have to make sure things just have a sturdy look about them. I'm really looking forward to actually getting this series posted. I'm not worried what people think of it. Like, there is a few people I know that have been wanting to see me do this, so I know there's going to be people that watch it. Can't be sure they're going to enjoy it, but I've given it a go. If it does turn out to be popular, I'm going to be doing, or at least a few people watch it, you know, I will do more. I'm going to do some smaller builds as well. I'm thinking of doing a raft build. That one's spun. I'm a little bit nervous about being on this moving platform. Okay, let's go for a quicker click. That quick. Nope. Again, nope. That one. Nope, can't quite reach. Oh, didn't fill that one in. Out of walls completely. That's unfortunate. Okay, I think I'm going to grab some more warp. That's it, I'm picking up feces while I'm here. Get out of the Quetzal, please. Okay. So I still need to do the rooms that I'm filling the walls in for at the moment. There possibly will be changes as I add some of the stuff in. At the moment I'm just wanting to get some things closer to completion. What am I here for? I'm here for walls. No, that's not the one, that one. Should do it. Now the storage level itself is going to be probably probably going to be mostly covered in, I think. This is the crafting level, so this should have a fair bit of open space. Now, I have actually currently got it that there is a tech elevator here in the center, so a big dino can come up here. However, the original design that I had, I wasn't actually going to allow a big dino on this level. Okay, I'm in a bad position. Let's hop off the ground. One. Now the reason I didn't want anything on the ground on this level, I don't want to have to deal with roof height. Because I had to lower the base, I didn't actually add the extra roof tile that I was going to have on here. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8. It should have been 9 high. But with reducing the height, I ended up losing a little bit out of here. Before that, I had even decided not to have the main tech elevator here. I was going to rely on a smaller one just to get people up and down. The storage level, I'm actually going to have more space. Like, I'm going to have more ways of accessing it. That's what I meant, not more space. I'm going to actually add some external doorways. And they're probably going to be dynamic gates. I will be doing those off camera. I made a decision on the last dynamic gate in the C-pen that I could probably place it on camera and then fill it in afterwards, but the actual running backwards and forwards, filling it up with the metal and whatnot, on camera I found that was a bit on the slow side. I mean, these bits here, some of them are a bit fiddly and I'm repeating myself a lot. But I think it's far slower and far more repetitious. At least for me. Okay, so I'm almost at the point where this level is completely enclosed and we won't be able to take a Quetzal in there. So that's cool. I will model out this level. It's going to be pretty much identical to the one below it, except for the fact that the windows will be wider. So I'm going to hook those up. Now the video is just going to go a little bit funny for a moment. Okay, so I was just checking the time on that, so I've got about 10 minutes to go. So that should be enough to do a few of these. C, corner D. Okay, corner D looks like the winner. It must be corner A. Makes that B. Makes that A. No. E? Yeah, this one. Transparency. Again, one way. I'll almost, after this episode, be able to do a proper screenshot of the base. That's what I'm most looking forward to, is actually being able to do a proper screenshot. Oh, I've screwed that up. Bugger. Okay, so obviously I've made this too high. How do I fix it easily? Well, what you do is copy that, paste it there. Clear it, copy that, paste it there. Demo, grab those two. I'm going to need those in there. and it's fixed. And I just put more feces in my inventory. Okay, let's start at the bottom this time. D. Is it going to be a C or an A? It's going to be A. It's a B. And it's a C. Oops, almost went down too far. I think regardless how long I've got left of the video, I'm going to finish this remodeling. Hopefully we can get that sorted. I'd love to have gotten the one above sorted at the same time. So that was a D, I believe. That means that's a... No, that was A. B. C. I'd love to get a lot more done each video. It would be nice. You kind of just have to go with it. Whatever you're doing in this game, sometimes things will go quickly, sometimes they'll go slowly, sometimes they'll go ultra slowly as you find more and more problems, or you get to something that shouldn't be an issue and something doesn't snap right, causing the whole thing to be kind of iffy. Okay, so this one's a D. Corner D, that's what it was. It's a corner A. As you can see, I've learnt the pattern. Now I can speed it up a little bit. It's a C. I remember what that one is though. C. Copy it, clear it. Should mean that one's a D. Copy it. Paste it. And then I need transparency. One way. Now you notice I always hit update before I click done. I'm not sure why I do this. I don't think it's actually needed. But I've tried teaching myself not to do it and I keep doing it. So there must be a reason early on why I learnt that. Something that probably doesn't actually affect me anymore. Oops. That's an A. That's a B. Okay, my mouse on the fritz again. C. A1, C. D. And again, transparency. I do believe that... No, one more. Oh, that's way too close. Yeah, it might be too far away. Corner D, corner A. Oops, I don't know where I clicked there. B. Let's see. Is that one a 1C? Copy that, paste it, clear it. It's a D. Copy it, paste it, switch guns. Okay. Doesn't that look good? Okay, that's got some structure to it now. Just that one section that's got to be adjusted. Again, it's going to have a stone wall around the top of the glass. Okay, I'm actually going to set the time of day. Okay, that really didn't help. So things are looking pretty awesome. I think on the next vid I will go through and finish the outside walls on that central section. I do think it's going to make a difference to how it looks, and I'd like to get that in place so that the actual outside of the base is mostly done. I still need to remodel the tops of the other two towers, and they've actually got to doing those, but we definitely ticked off a few boxes today. I need to remodel the hub down the bottom as well. Oh, pardon me, hopefully that didn't come through on recording. It's a surprise burp. But things are looking pretty good. If I'm not jumping around too much while I'm looking around myself. I wondered about adding a hub. What I'm calling a hub is the shell over the top of the teleport pad. I was thinking of adding one on the smaller pad, but I'm probably not going to. Don't really need to. I might just stick a little rail around the outside, just something interesting. So, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I definitely am enjoying the look of how things are going. The build is progressing quite nicely. Hopefully we won't be too many videos away from finishing, but make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join our Discord if you haven't already. Take care and enjoy your building.